Mental Health, the Up and Up. We're trying to make mental health care clear, helpful, and maybe even fun. We're chatting with licensed therapists, but this is not therapy. These are simply thoughts and ideas for you to discuss with your own therapist and to help you on your journey of complete wellness.
Today, I wanted to talk about how movement can affect our brains and therefore our mental health. So we had talked in another podcast about how thoughts and feelings and behavior are all kind of interlinked, and that how thoughts can affect our feelings and our behavior can affect our thoughts and feelings. So this is kind of one way that our behavior can affect our thoughts and feelings. And that is through moving our body in a particular way. So, Anna, if you could do like a hand gesture for, oh my goodness, I'm glad that's over with, what would you do?
I'm
I
glad
have
that's
something
over
in mind.
with.
I
Okay,
hate
go ahead.
people play, guess what's in my head? So I was thinking of, whew,
Okay,
right?
yep. The standard. Yep.
Yeah. Can you think of anything else where there's a real clear body movement for a particular thing that we want to think about? I always think about the stroking your chin, even
Yep.
though I don't have a beard.
Or the or shaking your
Uh-huh.
fist. I tend
Absolutely.
to do this one because I'm like,
Uh-huh. Or
ah.
shake it off.
Yeah, shake it off is a good one.
Yeah. So we do a lot of those things really naturally. And believe it or not, they actually do change our mood. Those actions do change our mood a little bit. The things that you mentioned about going like this and shaking your fist is actually, that's when our body feels stressed, which is when we want to fight a saber-toothed tiger.
Right.
So it's kind of congruent. We go like this or like this, and our body goes, okay, you're done fighting. You fought, you're done. And then it can move on. So, and this,
In
yeah.
our anxiety talk, we talked about contracting and using your big muscles to help relieve that sensation.
Yeah,
So doing
absolutely.
this or
Hmm.
this. Yeah.
I'm just realizing we're doing a podcast and nobody can see us. Yeah. So all those movements like wiping sweat off your forehead or the shake it off movement or clenching your fists actually remind our brain to mentally do that thing or emotionally do that thing.
So like
Go ahead, Anna.
when you're trying to listen to something and you touch your ear, even though touching
Yes.
your ear does not change the sound vibrations as they come towards you, it makes your brain focus.
100%. That's a beautiful example. I love that. I'm going to add that to my list of examples. Yeah. And
Okay.
you're absolutely right. Touching your ear doesn't do anything, but it tells your brain.
Even cupping it only does minorly
Mhm.
affects how. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a wonderful example. I love that. So to begin with, I'll just start with an example very similar to that one, is that when you sing, if you put your hand, in front of you and you want to sing from low to high, la 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 la, if you lift your hand as you're singing, your voice will naturally go up. So la 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 la. And then if you want to go down, if you go la 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 la, it's
Okay.
very hard. And I've done this literally 50 times with clients and I still can't do it. It's very hard to put your hand low and to start singing high and go high to low with your voice and low to high with your hand. So my
Okay.
hand is really low, so I'm going to start high.
Yeah.
La, 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 la.
Mm.
Okay, for one thing, I can hear I'm off key. And for another thing, I'm much slower. It's just much more difficult. Oh, the other
La
thing I
la la.
notice when I
Oh,
do that.
yeah.
Yeah. Are
Right.
you doing it? Yeah.
I'm
The other
trying to
thing,
figure it out.
yeah. The other thing I notice when I do that, if my hand goes low to high and I want my voice to go high to low, um, my hand may be going the opposite direction, but my head moves the correct direction. So my chin will go up or my chin will go down, even though my hand's going up. If I want my voice to go down, my chin will naturally go down. So my hand
Your
is low right now. La, 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 la. My head goes way down and forward. And again, it doesn't help.
Your
Um,
body instinctively compensates for the fact that you're trying to trick it.
yeah.
That's
And
interesting.
yeah. And I guess it's that idea that it doesn't help, but it does help. Like
Mm-hmm.
touching your ear. It doesn't help, but it definitely helps.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So in order to use that to kind of make your life, to affect your life the way you want it to, you can use some of those gestures that we've already talked about. If something is bothering you,
Mm-hmm.
if you think about letting it go while you use the shake it off gesture. um, I had one of my nieces would get really anxious, and I would hold my hands in front of her and say, okay, throw up the anxiety. And
Mm-hmm.
she'd make the throw up, bleh. And it helped her get rid of some of that anxiety, so, because our body says, I'm putting this outside.
My mom did when we were little and we were all being brats. She'd say, "Take your bad attitude and throw it out the back door." And she made us
Uh-huh.
physically go and throw it out the door.
Yep.
And it's silly, but yeah, it made a
Yeah.
difference.
There's New Year's tradition in, gosh, I think it's China. If I'm wrong about that, I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
Where they write their problems down and then sweep them out the door,
Ah.
which I've done in group therapy sessions with kids,
Mm-hmm.
but again, it reminds us we don't want to carry that on with us into the new year,
There's
or we're
a
getting rid of something.
there's a similar tradition in Judaism with the Day of Atonement where you write your sins on a rock and you throw it in the ocean
Mm-hmm.
to represent forgiveness and not carrying that into as you go into the next new year.
See, nothing is new. It's just we give it therapeutic names in the current
Exactly.
time.
Yep. Yep.
That's also what a scapegoat is that it's
Yeah.
literally a goat where you put your sins on. I don't remember how, if you write on the goat or I don't know how,
I
but
don't
then
think
you
they.
let
Yeah.
the goat carries your sins away. So
Yep.
that's where the term scapegoat comes from. I had a therapist I knew who worked with pretty sociopathic people, like people who don't care, who are very don't have a conscience,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And after work, she would always take a shower as her way of saying, I just want to let this go.
Mm. Yeah.
Can I do another example?
Go ahead.
So my other example is actually Mr. Rogers, where
Yeah.
at the beginning he takes off his jacket, he puts on his sweater, he takes off his work shoes, he puts on his tennis shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows the kids watching to say, oh, he's actually here to pay attention to me. He's not going to be distracted by grown-uppy things. And
Yeah.
I do tell people who have really difficult jobs or jobs where they're always in opposition with people, so they don't bring it home, to literally, take off their work hat or their work uniform in the car,
Mm-hmm.
and then go into the house with something different. And it
Yeah.
does help us leave things behind.
I've now for myself. I caught myself doing this after a few years of doing it, where whenever I'm making a big life transition, I tend to cut my hair
Mm-hmm,
and take like a full proper shower
mm-hmm.
and sometimes change my clothes, but not always. But
Yeah,
like there's it's that physical. I'm ending this stage. I'm going into that stage. Renewal.
yeah. And we can use all those things that we sometimes do without knowing, like you were doing it,
Yeah.
your body knew to do it, so your brain can kind of get ready for that change or be
Hmm.
comfortable with that change. We can also use those um, to purposefully change what we're thinking or feeling.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the first time I heard about this was working with people with panic attacks, again, where you're trying to fight a saber-toothed tiger, and there's no saber-toothed tiger there,
Yeah.
to move your feet like you're running, and your brain will actually think you're running away, or to
Hmm.
do something like we mentioned before, clench your fists, pound your fists in front of you, something like that. So your brain goes, oh, you're fighting. Now I can kind of finish that. So I don't have to hold on to that. She's already killed the saber-toothed tiger or run away from the saber-toothed tiger.
Right.
So we can find those things that we find comforting. Like if you're alone and you're not feeling loved, you can give yourself what's called a butterfly hug, where you hug yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And again, your brain, our brains are stupid. We don't know that we're the ones hugging us. We think we're getting a hug.
Mm-hmm.
So anything like that, where we're moving our body, if it's something kind of universal, like the shake it off symbol, which I'm not sure if it's universal, but close enough, or if it's something very personal. I knew someone who felt very at peace when she went for walks. And so she did that walking thing with her feet,
Mm-hmm.
not to run away from the saber-toothed tiger, but to remind herself to relax. That works with her. That wouldn't work with everyone. So it's kind of being mindful of the gestures that make sense to you with a feeling. And then if you want to evoke, if you want to bring that feeling, want to make that feeling bigger, do the gesture as you're making that change, or thinking of that thing, like the la 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 la.
This is very interesting. I'm going to slightly segue us here because when we started this conversation, I was concerned, not really concerned. I
Uh-huh.
was concerned that when you said motion to help your body, it was going to be just your typical, oh, well, you need to get out and exercise to help your
Ah,
wellness and well-being, which is
mm-hmm.
not bad advice.
Right.
But everybody tells you that, and not all of us are athletic, and it can get very tedious. So this has
Mm-hmm.
been very, very interesting and helpful to me. To
They've also, yeah, they've actually also done studies with athletes
Mhm.
where, this works more for elite athletes who are still working out all the time, but they had one group of athletes do a particular exercise really, and then the other group just imagined they were doing it,
Hmm.
and there was no difference in improvement.
Hmm.
So again, this has to be something you all kind of are already familiar with, not something
Absolutely.
that is very new to you. But again, if we think it and make our body move that way, our brain thinks we're doing it.
Hmm.
So, and that's why a lot of athletes do that visualization. Like, imagine yourself jumping over that pommel horse, or imagine yourself hitting the perfect home run.
Mhm.
And then our body goes like, oh yeah, that's who I am. I'm that person who hits perfect home runs. So hopefully you'll take something from that, and be able to find some movements for you that actually get you to the thought you want to be having, or the feeling you want to be having.
For more resources, shop at www.upandupwellness.com and hit that subscribe button. If you are in crisis and struggling right now, the national hotline is 988 and they can help you any time of the day or night.